Hi guys, here is Martha, User Engage, and in this video we will speak about user ID. What is that? I think that 10% of you will find it super interesting because it is about advanced identification of your users. Most of you guys use emails as superior identifiers of your users. I want to show you in this video how important user ID is, for example, for banking systems. Imagine a situation that we have one browser, two people logging in, and how to show in the system that they are different, that they have completely different user stories, user history, right? That they behaved in a completely different way, and how to identify them using user ID. User ID enables to switch cookies so that we are able to identify a specific cookie based on the user ID. So you may ask, what is a user ID? User ID is one unique field in the database, so it means that this is the superior identifier. We cannot have two people with the same user ID. You can have like 100 people with the same email address, but the user ID is unique. And you send this information once to our system, only once. And you don't have to worry about anything because we do trust you, meaning that we trust the data that you send us so that if there is a person with that user ID, we identify that person. So how to use it? So basically I'm gonna copy this line, I go in here, I paste it, and okay, very cool, but what should be the user ID? User ID should not be the email address for the safety reasons, right? But make it with an individual hash. That's why we strongly recommend the MD5 algorithm. You can go with up to 255 characters, so it can be a string of letters like this. What I'm doing right now is I'm saving it. I'm going back to my local page, okay, in here. I'm gonna refresh the page, okay. I'm refreshing the people section, and what's happening? We have a completely new person, Marta. You may ask, what is the avatar? It was connected, like the avatar appeared here based on the Gravatar page because the person with that email address uploaded the picture over there. But that's a completely different story. What I want to highlight is that on the right, you can see the user ID appearing in the standard attribute section. Because guys, user ID is the superior identifier, so you don't have to worry about adding it as a custom attribute. It is the standard one that comes together with user engage. But check it out. We have this person, and now I'm opening a new incognito window. I'm opening the incognito window, the same story, right? And look what I'm gonna do. In here, I will start a conversation. A, B, C, D, E. Okay, it went through. And now I go to the incognito window, I refresh the page, and the system detected me as the same person. So it switched the cookies to that I had with that user ID. So as you can see, it's super powerful. And you're gonna ask, okay, Marta, very cool, but what's next? Okay, give me a second. So the real beauty of it is that, as I said, let's say with banking system, we have different people logging in with the same browser, the same computer. And we have a completely new person, right? Let's say it's gonna be Eva at eva.com. Good. And user ID is different. It's gonna be FGH. the same customer type, but the value will be also different. Everything is correct. I'm gonna save it. I go back, right? I refresh the page. I open the conversation. Whoa, what a surprise! There is nothing. How come? Guys, I go to people section. In here. And what happened is that we have a completely new user. A new user with that user ID. So as you can see, it was super simple to create, but I think that now you understand what I meant by the superior identifier. So guys, in other words, if we have a completely new user ID, we added, the system adds it to a current cookie. But if we have a certain cookie has already a given user ID, we create a new user. So I'm gonna go a step further. So I will delete all of these pieces of information. Okay, now it's very simple. I'm saving it. Okay, correct. Okay, I'm also refreshing it over here. And what I'm gonna do right now is that now when I go inspect, oops, sorry, my bad, I go with page source. As you can see, it's completely blank, like super simple. Now I open the Incognito window. I go with the same page. Okay, everything is good. I go back to my people section. I refresh the page. And what happened? We have a completely new user. So as you can see, we can go on and go on. And here, I'm gonna add the email address. So I will go with email. That is gonna be exactly the same. The one from Eva. Perfect. Saved. Refresh. I'm gonna go back in here. I refresh the page. Perfect. Look, I have a new person with the same email address. That's the previous one with the user ID. This person does not have the user ID. Okay, one step further. We're gonna add a unique user ID. So the person will get, let's say, not FGH, but it's gonna be, let's say, ABCDE. Okay. We're gonna delete these. Okay, and we're gonna save it. Okay, so in this moment, that person, okay, has a completely different user ID. That's the person from the Incognito window. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna change that person. I'm gonna delete this one, for example. I can delete that, but what's super important is that I'm gonna change the user ID. Look, I'm gonna save it, okay, with the same ABCDE. I go back to my Incognito window. I open the chat conversation, and what I have here, exactly, that's the very first conversation that we had with the very first user. Look, I go back, I refresh the page. Look, that person became the user with that email address because we already had that user ID in the database, and Marta was like minor to that email address, so it was updated. Okay, do you understand? Perfect. So guys, of course, don't forget that you can use the user ID when it comes to our API, because look, if you scroll down to the left, you are able to send information about, for example, find a user by ID. You can do multiple actions, creating, updating custom attributes, and what we ask for is like all the data can be updated based on the information that you send once about the user ID. So find a given user by given user ID, so that you send it once and then it's in the system. Once again, I really want you to understand how powerful it is and how many combinations with that you can create. And remember, we trust you 100%. The user ID is the superior identifier, and it can be super useful in terms of importing your users' events. And then the identification is made on the user ID basis, not emails. Because remember, you can fake a given email. I can be like the head of Google at google.com, but it doesn't make me that person, right? So that user ID can be complicated, and I agree. It may be a little bit sophisticated, but if you get the point once, you can do super powerful things and be able to send the information from your system to user Engage. Thanks so much. Talk to you later.